Have you ever seen someone on television and thought, wow, they look way taller or smaller than I imagined? Well, that is exactly what happens when people see Emily Compagno in person. Her actual size might surprise you, and it is definitely going to make you do a double take. Emily Compagno is a familiar face to a lot of people. She is a television host, attorney, and a personality many recognize from various shows. But there is something about her that most people get completely wrong just by seeing her on screen, her actual height and build. On television, Emily looks like someone who could be taller than most people in the room. Her presence is strong, and she carries herself with a lot of confidence. But in reality, she is a bit different than what you might expect, and that difference is what makes people pause and look twice. First, let us talk about her height. Emily Compagno stands around 5 feet 6 inches tall. That is not extremely tall, and it is not extremely short. It is somewhere in the middle. But somehow, she seems taller on screen. Why? Well, it is all about the camera angles, her posture, and the way she carries herself. On television, she looks commanding, and our brains often trick us into thinking someone is taller when they exude confidence. Another thing people notice when they meet Emily in person is her athletic build. She is known to have played professional-level sports when she was younger. That means she has a strong, toned physique. But unlike some celebrities, she does not look overly muscular or intimidating. Her fitness is noticeable but natural. It is clear she puts effort into staying healthy and active. People often say, wow, she looks exactly like she does on television. And while that is true in some ways, there is a difference between on-screen presence and real life. On television, cameras can make people look larger or smaller depending on angles and clothing choices. In person, you can see all the little details, her posture, her smile, the way she moves, and yes, her actual size. Let us do a little comparison to help you picture it. Emily is about 5 feet 6 inches. That is roughly the same height as the average woman in the United States. But when she is wearing heels or professional outfits, her presence grows. Combine that with her confident gestures and expressive voice, and suddenly she seems much taller than she really is. That is the magic of perception. Then there is her personality. Emily Compagno is known for being energetic, smart, and sometimes even intimidating in a good way. When someone has a big personality like hers, it can make them seem physically larger than life. It is like when a small dog acts very brave, you notice them more than their actual size. Fans who meet her in person often comment on how approachable she is despite looking so confident on screen. And that is what makes her so interesting. She does not rely on height or size to impress anyone. Her energy, her poise, and her style do most of the work. But that does not stop people from being surprised when they finally see her in real life. Another surprising thing about Emily Compagno's size is her proportions. On television, everything looks slightly different. Her face may appear smaller, her frame taller. But in person, it is easy to see how balanced her figure really is. This mix of strength, style, and presence makes her someone who stands out in any room without needing any exaggeration. So why does this matter? Well, it reminds us that what we see on television or online is not always the full story. Emily Compagno is proof that real life can be different from what we imagine. She is relatable, impressive, and has a size that surprises people, not because it is extreme, but because it is real. That is something rare these days. Next time you see someone on television or online, remember Emily Compagno. She looks commanding on screen, but in reality, she is just a normal, healthy, confident woman with a strong personality. Seeing that in person might make you pause and yes, maybe even look twice. So, what do you think? Were you expecting Emily Compagno to be taller or different in real life? Her actual size is just another part of her charm, showing us that confidence and presence matter more than numbers. If you enjoyed learning about her, make sure to stay tuned. There is always more fascinating stories about your favorite television personalities coming up.